It has been 24 years since the original release of The Fast and the Furious, so it is likely that many forget Dom's dark past. We all know he is a criminal, from street racing to stealing DVD players. What most people tend to leave out is what led him down the life of crime. When his father was killed in a racing accident when Dom was around 18, he beat the man he thought was responsible within an inch of his life. Dom is no stranger to throwing the gloves. We have seen many times throughout the films that he is more than capable of letting his anger get the best of him. While this was no doubt helpful during his time in prison, we now know that this rage predates his time behind bars. It is essential to recall his origins in the series, particularly when he will be confronting the aftermath of Reyes' actions at the end of Fast X. Dom Toretto's name is one that almost everyone knows, both in and out of the movies. The origins of his name are also a hint at his character. Dominic is derived from the Latin name Dominicus, which translates to "of the Lord," while Toretto has no direct translation. However, it does sound very close to the Italian word Torino, which means little bull. Lord of the Bulls is quite a name for the man behind the wheel. This name translation also gives us a hint as to his nationality background, as he has both Italian and Hispanic roots. One of Dom's most famous sayings comes at the end of the 5th installment, Fast 5. After assembling his family yet again, he says, "Salute mi familia," which means "cheers, my family" in Spanish. This gives us more of a confirmation of his Hispanic and Italian roots. We started off easy with the first one, but fasten your seatbelts because it's about to get crazy. We all know Dom is an elite driver. What you may not know is that he has been driving since he was 5 years old. That's right, while we were learning the alphabet, Dom was out there learning how to work a stick shift. Seeing as his father was a racer, he was obviously around cars his entire life. But at 5, that's quite the feat, even for a man of his mechanical prowess. This also explains his expert mechanical skills when it comes to cars. He is shown to be able to dissect any issue with a car, only being equaled by Tej. Dom is usually the end-all, be-all of anything cars. He is trusted by his team and respected by his enemies as someone who knows how to handle a four-wheeled vehicle. But what if we told you he wasn't always right? In the first film, Dom and Brian are talking after their first race together, in which Brian loses his car to Dom. Dom tells Brian that he could have beaten him if he double clutched. This would not have worked flat out. Truck drivers use this technique due to the extreme weight of their cargo. If Brian had used this method, he surely would have been much further back than he already was. This sounds like a simple enough mistake. However, based on how much he knows, it seems like a weird one to make. Who knows? Maybe he was testing Brian on his car knowledge. Or maybe Dom knows something that every single car expert in the world doesn't. That would make sense, seeing as he is the greatest driver to grace our screens. We have learned much about Dom and his backstory, especially in the last few entries. There was a time in between the first and fourth films that we barely saw him, only making a last-minute cameo appearance in Tokyo Drift. For a long time, we didn't know what he got up to during this time. Now, thanks to a short film titled Los Bandoleros, we know much more. This short film, which was directed by Vin Diesel, shows Dom in the Dominican Republic, where he becomes a living legend in the street racing and underground world. This is also the place where he plans the gasoline tanker heist that opens the fourth movie. He would later return to the Dominican Republic in the 7th film to confirm his legendary status. We also know that Letty was with Dom during their time down south, with the short movie ending with them having a smooch on a kayak. We all know that Dom is an expert combatant, usually winning every fight he is. Whether or not this is due to his character or Diesel's contract is up for debate. We jest because we actually know for a fact that Dom has the quickest hands in the series. He has defeated both Hobbs and Shaw, who have both clocked their punches at around 19 to 13 meters per second, seeing as Dom has beaten both of them in one-on-one combat, leading us to believe that he must be as quick if not quicker. Clearly, all the time, tightening bolts has led to the speed. Sounds like a workout Rocky would have loved. It has been a long-running theory joke of the series that Dom is a superhuman. He has an almost supernatural connection with his car, doing whatever he can imagine without hesitation. This has only been escalated in the newer entries, many people citing the moment Letty shoots him in the shoulder, to which he barely reacts. There was the time he had a head-on collision with Shaw in his classic 70s Charger, to which he barely got a scratch on him. He has also shown himself lifting a 3,000-pound supercar, and of course, he has never lost a fistfight. The amount and intensity of his physics-defying feats have become a staple of the character, and seemingly the only one who can do this. That was until the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw debuted a new character to the series, Brixton Lore. He was the first first to attain actual superhuman abilities in the series, so much so that it took both Hobbs and Shaw to take him down. Lore was given spinal injections that allowed him to be stronger, faster, and smarter. However far-fetched this may seem, this could be a reason why Dom is able to do what he does, and why everyone is so amazed at his 1 in a billion abilities behind the wheel. We know this is speculation, however, the fact is that Dom has been slowly getting stronger and stronger with each entry, culminating in him driving down an exploding dam with almost no effort. It seems too intentional not to mention when bringing up the man himself. When you think of Dom, you probably think of him behind the wheel of his classic 1970 Dodge Charger RT. This car has been a staple of the series, and you can often find Dom working on this car during his downtime. He and his father originally built this car, and is no doubt one of Dom's most precious family heirlooms. What you may not know about this car is that it's not actually a 1970 RT. Because that model is so rare, the car is actually a modified version of the 68 and 69 models made to look like the 70 model. Dom has driven this car in every movie he has appeared in, except for Diesel's short film mentioned previously. Knowing how rare this car is, it makes sense why it wasn't included in this shorter adventure. It is also worth noting that, canonically, this car is the same one featured in the original film. That means that this car has jumped out of an airplane, driven down a dam, and gone up against a tank. This is likely why Dom is always having to tinker with his car. We don't think cars from the 70s are built to last all of the above. Dom has been all around the world, from Tokyo, Brazil, to Los Angeles. Dom's background is a mix of varying nationalities, giving him quite a background in different languages. That, combined with how worldly he is, he has had to learn a number of languages. On film, we have seen Dom speak English, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. Given that he is also closely tied to the Tokyo racing scene, there is a strong argument for him to know Japanese as well. However, this has never been explicitly confirmed on screen. His ability to connect with people, making them his family wherever he may be, is a core part of his character, and makes sense why he would learn these different languages. Dom Toretto has been revving engines and defying death for over 2 decades now. It seems like this final film, Fast X Part 2, might be the last time we see this character, at least for a while. Could we see a tragic death, or a drive into the sunset? We will have some time to wait to find out, as the next film does not release until 2026. What is your favorite Dom Toretto fact? Shift down to the comments and let us know. From all of us gearheads here at ScreenRant, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.